quickly, but are you guys, happy with the way your careers turned out after all the turmoil, I guess?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. Like you said, the coaching changes, and so many close games throughout our career, and won a lot of games. I think it's really made this group bond together, especially after like a coach leaves. All you got is each other. So guys really came together, and I think that's why this group's so close.
Alex, last year you guys had some missed opportunities in this game against Northwestern. I know you were involved in one, if you remember the play. Essentially, it was a jump ball. Can you revisit that play? And is there anything you could have done differently to at least make it a positive result on that? Were you just off balance?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. Don't recall it that well, but yeah, I know it's a jump ball, and a lot of times if you're not gonna be able to catch it, just try to knock it down. Just become a defender, so at least you got second down or whatever the next down is. So yeah, probably just try to at least knock it down, if anything.
It was difficult for Joel to come in cold as he did. I mean, but essentially having no prep time, before that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always difficult, I think, for the second string guy to come in at that point, especially the way the weather was and the way we were struggling as it was as an offense. So it was kind of like he was coming into a situation where plug guy in and just keep running. And, especially the way him and Tanner were totally different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So for that situation, it's made it a little more difficult.
A lot of guys say that it's a new year, two different teams when you talk about rematches, but is it healthy to remember last year's game against Northwestern in this circumstance?
I don't know. I mean, that game was one of those games you want to just put it behind you and not look back. But obviously, we're all past it now, and we, the film. We still look at some of the cut-ups from the film, and as we prepare for them this week, because they obviously do what they do and they do it well. So there's still stuff to be learned from that film for what they're doing defensively. So yeah, I think it's just one of those things. You what, we're a new team, they're a new team, like you said, and just come out and be ready to compete.
You guys, I guess when you were freshmen, you guys won the 2012 title game. Were you guys as freshmen? I mean, I think that was maybe the third and 4 years you guys had won. Were you as freshmen kind of naive to the fact that we're just going to be here every year and win some more of these, or do you think you appreciated it enough back then?
It's hard to say, but I know the older guys really preaching not taking anything for granted, and anytime you get to play this game and you come out victorious, it's something you don't want to take for granted, because it's hard. You put a lot of time in it in the off season, even the week leading up to the game preparing. You put a lot of time and effort into it, and to take it for granted would be a shame. So we just try to appreciate every day for what it is, and not try to look forward or back, just live in the moment.
Last time down the tunnel, what were your thoughts, your most memorable moments maybe here?
Yeah, because I think whenever you talk to the older guys, one of their earliest memories they say is running on that tunnel in front of 8,000. So I think one last time is just going to be, it's going to be the same feeling. You get the goosebumps run down your arms, and but it's going to be a little more emotional knowing that it's your last time doing it.
What's been the general highlight so far this season for this team, you think? In your role?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things. I can't really pinpoint one thing, but just the way this group's come together, fought through adversity, and because all those injuries, it causes you to do that. And not that we weren't a close group before, but the way you got freshman guys just stepping in and playing, you got guys that are moving positions. You have a guy like Jack Sitchy comes over and steps in and just plays a huge role. And because you work so hard with those guys in the off season, you see how much work they're putting in, and then when you see them get on the field, you feel happy for them that they're making plays. And so yeah, the biggest thing I would say, just the way this group's come together and just keeps fighting no matter what.
Obviously, you guys needed the bye with all the injuries, but is there any concern about maybe being flat, just not having played in a couple weeks?
No, I don't think so. I think guys are, they're hungry, they're ready to get back to work, and today is going to be our first day all back as a group since the weekend. So I think guys are looking forward to it. Guys are excited for the opportunity again this week, and it's going to be a big game, and we know what Northwestern brings, and it's going to be a physical battle.
It's kind of your best memory of your career.
There's a few things, obviously, when you're first starting out. I think, like I said, running through the tunnel the first time, you know, just a young kid running through, not knowing what you're getting into, and then obviously as a wide receiver, probably getting your first catch, first touchdown. Like, those are highlights that you'll remember for the rest of your life. And then now that you're an older guy, it's the time you spend with the teammates. It's the time in the locker rooms, you know, after practice, before a lift, you know, after the games. Those are the memories I'm going to remember the most and miss the most about being on this team.
How many offensive coordinators have you had in your time here?
This is my third. Yeah.
Does it make it difficult when you have that many? Systems are changing, different, you know, does it make it difficult?
I think the systems were so much different that it was kind of one of those things you didn't have to like remember old stuff. It was just flush it, just start from scratch. So we learned all new stuff. So it made it easier, and the fact that you know, terms are quite a bit different, that they weren't overlapping. But you still remember some of the other stuff, like run plays, and you remember what it used to be called. But I think as you progress and you learn the new offense, you flush it, get the new terminology down.
You obviously one of your goals is to get back to the Big Ten championship game. Do you still think that's possible, or do you watch Iowa and go, dang, they keep winning, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you never know what could happen. You know, they still got 2 games left, but you know, that's not in our control. So you take it for what it's worth, and you just focus on